validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt up on the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher constantly, making my own climb. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. Whoa. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. We've got us a very, very busy Thursday. We're going to be talking about Chile. We're going to be touching base on some stuff from Dubai. And like I told you guys, going to give you a little bit of information on some trust firms and companies that create trusts and fidelities that will help you guys out with getting yourself started with trying to rock out that trust scenario. So what we did was we did a little bit of digging and found not only in Dubai and Chile, because those are two of the places we're talking about today, two or three of the other places that we talked about earlier this week and last week as to places where we could go to put our trust money at. I decided to go ahead and do some digging to help you guys figure out what you can do as far as communicating with those individuals so that or those companies so that you guys can get your information together to start getting your trust up. Now, I know that we still have to start piecing together some of the cheapest levels of trust that we can build outside of, starting up an LLC or C corporation, trying to work our way into going off the grid financially, as well as separating our assets from our person so that we can own nothing, control everything, and make sure that our money is making money for us as we start our journey following that 20-year plan of building generational wealth. So I got a lot of stuff to talk to you guys about today. It's going to be a very interesting scenario, but we're going to be bouncing around from thing to thing, because here on This and That, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between, we typically talk about more than one thing. Some of the things that we talk about take a lot of energy to give you all of the details of it. And some of it is really short-lived, but extensive. So we try to give you guys a lot of a little and a little of a lot all over the place to make sure that you guys can piece it all together. And you can always go back and watch some of the other shows, and that'll help you with piecing together all the information that you need to get things started. You guys can always like and subscribe as you fall in. That way you guys have the ability to show us some support. You got to grab those reaction buttons. Real quick, I got to do this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, first time tonight, we've got Cody D rocking the house. He wants to do something about a thick cut. How you doing, Cody D? Thank you for coming to This and That. I'm trying to give some of y'all favorites some intro music, since we got a lot of track stuff in here. Oh boy. So there's our Cody D. He's in there for the night. You should have been here yesterday. He said just walk in and blade the vamp and ask for the statistics. He wants the tiki hut boat with a bar. You can always get yourself a tiki hut boat with a bar. It depends on how big of a boat you want. If you want like a giant barge, or if you want just like a small simple something or other. But depending on how small it is depends on whether or not it can weather a decent sized storm. But we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today, so make sure that you guys keep in touch. Now, Cody, we talked about the precious minerals last week. I know you missed out on that. Then yesterday you missed out on the brokerage conversation that we had yesterday. So we did a little bit of talk about brokerages. I answered Usman's question yesterday. Usman wasn't here for that. Everybody's coming in. And ladies and gentlemen, this down tonight, we've got Usman. Everybody's jumping in and getting their own something or other tonight. And Usman said, you said you missed the train. Yeah, you missed the whole train, bro. We've been doing all kind of crazy stuff since you've been here. Usman says, FBI, to infiltrate the mob, we need a man who matches his ties, suits, and glasses, a man who has street smarts and book smarts, a man who doesn't look suspicious in a satin suit. Xander, well, shit. Oh my goodness. And we've got another one. Falling back in line. Every day this week, we've got date time. Represent Tampa Bay. This is the elevation protocol. Rising above the chaos, taking control. I tell you, we're gonna have a lively show for the most part. That's what I saw. Low vibrations can't exist in my. Woo. I know that's got to be blowing some of y'all speakers out, because that hit my eardrums real heavy. I was like, Jesus, these guys sang with passion. I just missed a stream yesterday. What question was answered? When you asked me that question a few days ago about the weight training thing, the hypertrophy, and I can grab it for you, because I know that I was looking at that, because I was supposed to answer that. And actually, you missed 2 days, because I was supposed to answer the question on Tuesday, I think it was. And I forgot to answer the question Tuesday, but she wasn't here on Tuesday. So I added it to yesterday's topic. Or no, I added it to, what day is today? No, today's Wednesday. So I added it to, I was supposed to do it on Monday because you asked me on Sunday, and I did not do it on Monday because I was talking about all the stuff that was going on with Trump. So I added it to Tuesday's show. Today's Wednesday, added it to Tuesday's show. And I was supposed to be telling you a more detailed response to your question about the hypertrophy scenario. So when I put it on Tuesday's show, today's Wednesday show. So we're trying to figure out what day of the week I'm on. And I was like, oh yeah, he's going to miss out on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you that before I get started with the other stuff on the show, because you asked me about it and I was like, let me get you some more detailed information. My information wasn't off at all, but it is more detailed than what we had just talked about before. But you should check out the whole show, because Tuesday we were talking, we talked about some trust information. We also talked about brokerages. I gave you a list of brokers that you guys can utilize, fintech information that you guys can utilize from different countries as well. So there was a lot of stuff that was going on there. But to answer your question, the multi-set training appears to be superior to single set training for strength gains and muscle hypertrophy, specifically for the maximum quantity of gains in a short period of time. Now, multiple set training, 3 to 5 sets, produce superior results in maximum strength and muscle growth compared to the single set training. But a meta analysis found that multiple sets are associated with 40% greater hypertrophy related to effects of size rather than the single sets in both trained and untrained subjects. So for strength gains, 2 to 3 sets per exercise are associated with 46% greater strength gains than 1 set across both trained and untrained individuals. And there are a level of trends showing where increasing effects to size for increased number of sets in terms of muscle hypertrophy, such as 24% for 1 set, 34% for 2 to 3 sets, 44% for 4 to 6 sets. However, he said Blade doesn't know what day of the week he is on because he only lives in the night. You're not lying, bro. You're not lying. I start my work at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and finish my work at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I can't tell you what day of the week it is sometimes. I thought today was Thursday for a moment, but I'm like, nah, I got a lot of stuff to do on Thursday and I ain't done that yet. So the other thing you want to make note is it's important to remember that single set training can still be effective, especially for sedentary individuals starting a workout routine, individuals with limited time for exercise, and if you're just trying to maintain muscle mass and strength. Recent studies found that even single set training can lead to significant muscular adaptations, including hypertrophy for rehabilitation exercises, though there's a difference where a general guideline is to use 1 to 2 sets of 10 repetitions, which is equivalent to single set reps, where this indicates that single set training can be effective for rehab purposes as well. So nevertheless, the group training for failure, when you're pushing yourself until you can't go any further, shows slightly greater hypertrophy compared to those training with 2 reps in reserve. While multi-set training shows superior results, the difference may not be dramatic enough to outweigh the time-saving benefits of single set training for some individuals. While single set training can still be very effective, especially for time constraints, individuals or beginners, the evidence suggests that the multi-set training is generally superior for the maximizing muscle hypertrophy goal, if that is your goal. But if you're really trying to get yourself bigger faster, that would be the way to do it, is to use multi-sets. But if you're just trying to stay fit, you're trying to keep your muscle definition, you're trying to maintain a healthy body with that whole 30 minutes to an hour a day worth of exercise kind of situation, single set won't be any less effective for that particular decision making process. So that is something that you can note. So everybody, we did come to talk about Chile. We did come to talk about Dubai because Usman asked me about Dubai. He's got questions. Y'all don't be asking as many questions. Usman and Z be asking questions that be leading us down rabbit holes of information that helps us learn some stuff. So y'all got get y'all notepad out because we about to get started. We're going to dive in. Oh, remember, for those of you that are popping in, like and subscribe as you're coming along. Also note that you have those reaction buttons somewhere on your screen. Make sure that you utilize those to show support for the show, because it gives them a reason to trigger the algorithm to show us to more people. Maybe we can bypass some of those podcasts that are red, blue, and black pill podcasts that are only talking about conflict without actually finding resolutions for it. Maybe we can hit us a million followers at some point. Either way, note that we are still live 7 nights a week, and I did somewhat start on time today, not too close to on time, but closer than normal. But you guys popped in right as I got things rolling, so we kind of had synchronism going on. So I really love that. That was awesome. He says Professor Morpheus is in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm actually probably more electrifying than The Rock and Randy Orton put together. The only difference is that unlike Cena, you can still see me. Chili always sounds like he says Chili always sounds like they always got chili and potatoes. Well, see, I actually thought that for a while, because Idaho is just nothing but potatoes. And I don't know why it's nothing but potato, but it's nothing but potatoes. So when they said chili, I was thinking Red Hot Chili Peppers, Chili's the restaurant. I was thinking chili peppers, everything that had something to do with I was thinking about the chili on the hot dogs. I was thinking about everything. But no, we're actually going to get into some real stuff. So as we dive into the question, is Chile really every man's dream for a country to go to? Since this is a podcast made for the fellas, from a man's point of view, I'm going to give you all the reasons why this is a damn good place to go. It's not as cheap as Cambodia, though. I got to go talk about Cambodia. Somebody gave me some information about Cambodia. So that's on the list of places to go. Cody says a floating Chili's restaurant in Chilean mountains. Chilean mountains. How do you pronounce that? Chilean mountains. You got to put the restaurant on a boat in the mountains, and then people got to catch it like a ferry. They got to catch the restaurant like a ferry. So we're going to be exploring the culture, food, and adventures in Chile to see if this place lives up to the hype. Now, when we think about dream destinations, we often fantasize about exotic islands, ancient ruins, or bustling cities. Some of the fellas is paying more attention to all the hot chicks on the beach. But, we never think about Chile. Like, from some of the first places we think about is like Vietnam, Asia, areas like the Philippines, China, Taiwan, Thailand, Belize. We might think of I think we kind of draw the line after that, like the Dominican Republic, the Bahamas, Hawaii, usually something that's just complete islands and volcanoes. But we forget that there are more places than that to go. So this long, thin strip of land in South America, which is probably one of the reasons why nobody pays attention to it, is often overlooked, but it's packed with diverse landscapes and activities that make it paradise for travelers. Now, the funny thing is that the first time I came across Chile, I was playing Conflict of Nations. And I got stuck with the country there was more land than I had resources, and I had to protect myself against the sea on one side and multiple countries on the other side. It was like California times 2. It was like California and Mexico connected together. It was crazy. But then I realized, oh, there's a country there. But I think we've all been guilty of having preconceived notions about certain travel destinations where we might assume that Japan is all about Tokyo's neon lights, or that Italy is just a romantic getaway for couples. We probably might think that Tokyo and Japan and China is all about the call girls standing on the street selling themselves in the middle of the night, which is pretty much all of the videos that you see on social media these days. Is for some reason there's one or two streets with nothing but women holding up signs wearing maids outfits and stuff, and you think that's what the whole country is about. That's not what the whole country is about. That's just where the dirty old guys that were walking through like, oh yeah, I could get a lot of views off of this, because dirty old guys are going to be looking at those videos and be like, oh man, I wish I could go there. 1,000 views. That's how it works. But the truth is, there's so much more to these countries than what we see in the movies or on social media. Now, similarly, Chile might not be on everyone's radar, but it is a treasure trove of unexpected experiences, investment opportunities. You know, I didn't even get into the real estate purchasing conversation because I started doing the research of this, found the stock markets, stock options, investment platforms, and then I had to talk about Dubai, and then I started covering the trust, and then I was like, oh man, I forgot to set up the show. So I might have to double back and talk about some of the good places to buy real estate in Chile, the way I'm doubling back on Dubai. But no worries, we've got plenty of life to deal with that. But we're often drawn to the destinations that are Instagram famous, TikTok famous, YouTube famous, such as the Philippines. But I think that's a mistake, to say the least, because some of the most incredible travel experiences are found in the lesser known places, typically places that are not overpopulated with tourists. And Chile is a prime example of that. It's not trying to be like every other trendy destination. Instead, it's confidently being itself, and that authenticity is what makes it so attractive. So when you ask people about their favorite travel destination, you often get those same responses, like I told you. And I forgot about New Zealand, but New Zealand, Bali, Iceland, those are some of the places that people talk about. But why? He said, move to North Australia. Yo, crikey, brother. I should cover Australia. Now, is Australia big enough for me to do a North and a South Australia the way they've got a North and a South Korea? Because I figured when I cover Korea, like Korea is Korea, but apparently you have Korea and then you've got the Kim Jong-un Korea, which is two different Koreas. You have to literally say South Korea, because you can't just book a flight to Korea. Because if you fly to Korea as an American and you end up at the wrong airport, you might not make it back. Cody said, yeah, I was thinking of an Arctic English, maybe Scotland. Ooh, that's a good place to go. Because Scotland, but when you think about Scotland, you think about all of the green grass and the hilltops and like Sound of Music, where there's like nothing but green grass. You don't think of, and kilts. That's what you think about when you think about Scotland. You think about men in dresses and green grass everywhere. That's he said, probably not big enough for the two of us, though. Well, you know, if I pass by, I'm just passing by to invest in something and keep going, because I did find out that while you can create trust in a lot of different places, even if it is a non-residential trust, some countries have the requirement that you have to be in the country setting up the trust, even if you're going to operate the trust from out of the country. So that still requires you to go at least for a few weeks in order to get the trust set up, and then you can fly somewhere else and make it do what it do. He said, battle the Scottish, Irish, and England all for a spot. Now, I forgot about Ireland. I didn't forget about England, though, because me and Usman was talking about England. Oh, and I just said Iceland, but or Ireland. No, I said Iceland. As I was like, Iceland, Ireland. Oh my God, all these countries. There's a lot of them. I can't tell you how many countries there are in the world because, we only really pay attention to like the top 20. And then after that, we kind of just forget that all the rest of them exist. We typically consider everything that's not America a third world country, even though that's not the case, because the first country would have been on the map before America would have been Britain, but after that, then it's America. But for some reason, America became the first world country. And then after that, I think China's number 2. And then I don't know who's number 3, but China's in the top 3. But after China, everything else is considered a third world country. Everything else. It doesn't matter what country it is. It's like, oh, third world country. It's not a third world. It might be less developed. It might not have the same like social standards that we have in America, where as Americans, we have to date robots because we can't find quality women, but it's quitter. It's crazy. Oh, look, I just noticed that he said, Quish. Quish in Dutch. How about Portugal? Now, Portugal makes me think about Belize, and Portugal is a pretty good place to go. And I should cover Portugal as well, because I have not covered Portugal as well. But when I think about Portugal, I think of Belize with the beaches and the attractive women with the good tans. But I don't know anything about Portugal yet. I got to go and do my digging on that, because I don't just go there for the chicks. I got to make money if I'm going there. If I'm not making money, I'm not going there. I feel like it's a way. I know that everybody wants to go on their vacations, and everybody wants to put their, hold on, y'all. Everybody's diving in. You're gonna give him one. Wait, give him this one. That one. For Mr. Satellite, coming back for the 31st time. Everybody's getting a theme music today. Y'all are gonna just get used to these songs. I tell you what, it's gonna be crazy.
Used to chase validation, now I validate myself. Building
like
inner strength, putting doubt up on the shelf.
Take the room.
No more unnecessary.
That one actually is more catchy, I gotta tell you. Break dancing on the roof while the music plays. Most definitely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But no, I haven't really looked that far into Portugal, but I'm going to, because I definitely want to go places where if I'm making money while I'm there, I'm going to go. I don't just want to go there just for the sake of seeing the sights. I don't want to go there just for the sake of picking up chicks. I want to go somewhere I'm making money while I'm there. Now, there is an opportunity for me to stop from time to time and just sit there just for the sake of being there, for a little bit, because you got to stop working at some point. But I'm not spending $2-3 grand to fly to another country and not come back with something. And I'm not talking about souvenirs, man. I'm not coming back with trinkets. I'm coming back with something valuable to me. So if I fly to another country and I don't have a wife with me when I fly to that country, I should be flying out of that country with one that's going to be flying with me to other countries as I go and do business in other countries. And she's going to be my personal assistant. Best place to get those, Philippines. Because for $500 a month, she will do everything you want her to do, as long as you cover her modes of transportation and keep her with some clean clothes and stuff. You can literally hire. This is how you do it. You get one as an employee, and then you get one as an actual wife. You can get one on a marriage visa and one on a work visa, and now you got 2 women. $1,000 a month for 2 people to make sure that you got what you need. I don't know, man. We be thinking things wrong. Cody said, fly immediately to Rome in Italy. And he said for the podcast, and then drive around for cookers. That's a thought, because when I travel, I'm taking a podcast with me. I'm not just going to go there and then come back and tell you guys about it, because I go live every night of the week. So whenever I get off the plane, odds are I'm probably going to do the live, fly out, because they're not going to let me be on the live while I'm flying. And then when I touch down, I'm probably going to have a live after I get there where you'll be like, oh, snap, he's got a different background this time. And it's not a green screen. That's going to be one of those things. But one of the questions like you guys have been asking me for the last few minutes is like, what about the places that we don't talk about on a daily basis that makes these places so special? And I think that it's because some of these off the map locations offer unique combinations of natural beauty, cultural riches, and adventures opportunities. Now, in addition to cultural riches, there are investment opportunities that can aid you in your ability to diversify your riches. And that's the only reason why I'm going to be talking about it today, is because we're going to talk about setting ourselves up on our personal lives and setting ourselves up on our financial lives. And Chile's has all of it, like a deck of spades, a whole deck of spades. It's like cheating. I got 13 spades in my hand and there's 3 other spades on the table. You already know somebody's cheating. Chile's has a culture that's deeply rooted in indigenous heritage, but also influenced by European settlers and African immigrants. So you can hear it in the music, which is less rap, and see it in the art, which is less pornography, and taste it in the food, which probably has chili peppers in it. So the country is fascinating. And this is a fascinating blend of traditional and modern, which is going to give us a little bit of both, best of both worlds. And that's what makes it so compelling for us to go and check out. Cody says, at this and that, be in like Burma, what is that, Burma, or for East India with a margarita. Oh, of course. Now, Burma, I haven't talked about Burma, but I have talked about Belarus. And East India, I have not talked about East India yet, but I know a lot about margaritas. So we're gonna have us a list of places that we're gonna be trying to touch base on over the next few weeks, because we got to talk about all these countries and what makes them awesome. So at the top of the list, what we're going to be talking about in Chile, women's treatment of men is influenced by a mix of traditional and evolving cultural norms, and many Chilean women still adhere to traditional gender roles, viewing men as primary breadwinners and decision makers in the family. So you already know that we're coming from right field on this one. Bayside said, LOL, pimping ain't easy. Y'all, pimping ain't easy, but it's got to be done. He said, I'm heading to the Philippines. You need to. They got marriage contracts out there where you have like her salary set up and pension plan and stuff. And you already know that the money that it costs for middle income American to pay for a American woman, that's like the annual salary for a Filipino woman. So I mean, you can go out there to the Philippines and save so much money. If you're paying for if you're paying like $200 or $300 a night 3 times a month on dates where you're spending almost $900 a month on women, you could have one full-time woman and one part-time woman who would not complain, where one woman is making $500 a month and the other woman is making $400 a month. You would have 2 women at your beck and call 24/7. They wouldn't care. I mean, if you upped it an extra $100, you'd be paying $1,000 a month for both, and you ain't got to worry about nothing else, because they ain't fighting each other over the situation, because you up in the game already. You up in the game. It's the greed that we have to compete with in America, because they've already been overly spoiled their entire lives just because they're attractive remotely. They don't have to be the most attractive, because they could be like butt ugly like a 4, But if a man wants to sleep with them, all he has to do is give them nice things. And you got enough guys that are willing to give a girl nice things. And then all of a sudden she expects it. She goes from appreciating the things that happens to her to expecting the things that happen to her to happen to her. And then she makes that a criteria for men to engage her because it's not happening to her. So now you went from me being chivalrous and kind-hearted and generous to you to it being the cost of communicating with you. And that is when it becomes a problem for me, because I'm like, shoot, what are you bringing to the table? You ain't worth all that. He said a whole group of MEO mangs working around your apartment. Yeah, beautiful Afro Chilean women. Oh yeah, of course. Oh, of course. And that's like when I go to Chile, or if I go to Chile, when I get there, I'm gonna be like, oh, because you got some of those countries where the women walk around topless, like in Disney World in Florida. Like, because if you didn't know, you can go to Disney World. They're doing not Disneyland in California, Disney World in Orlando, Florida. They have topless women and alcohol served now. So you can bring your kids, you can bring your baby mama, and you can look at everybody else's baby mama with no top on, and you guys can throw them back the same way you throw them back at the bar. so you can let Winnie the Pooh and Tigger be your babysitter while you're talking to the chick at the bar that's got no top. America, it's almost like Sodom and Gomorrah. It's crazy. Like, what's that? Like, who's that people's, Cody? All my neighbors. Oh, you ever been in a situation where like you got too many people showing up? You're like, who are all these folks? Oh, that's my fam. That's my kinfolk. Everybody your cousin. You got 38 people in here. Everybody your cousin. Now, there's often expectations for women to marry and have children, maintaining the concepts of family. Still a thing in Chile, but the younger generations are challenging the traditional household structures and attitudes. But the women are increasingly focusing on their independent careers, while there are growing tendencies for relationships to be based on reciprocity, with women supporting their partners' careers and vice versa, which is something that we also don't get in America. Cody says, I don't even know who they are. They are Mio Mangs, flying monkeys. Just bought a ticket to Orlando. Oh, you need to, because next to the topless children's theme park in Orlando, we've got the nude beaches in South Beach. So if you want to go to Miami and go to some of the nude beaches, everybody, it's hot over there. In Florida, it's like 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So, that's like 45 degrees Celsius, so it's smoking out there. So everybody's willing to cover themselves up in baby oil and just cook in the sun. Talking about some skincare. That ain't skincare. You cover yourself in baby oil, you sizzling. That's like bacon on a grill. But I mean, if you're walking around naked, at least it's an even tan, which I've never understood why women show their tan lines. Because if you have an even tan, that just means that you're willing to lay out in the sun naked. That does not mean that I get to be your shadow when you start to cook. Provide you with a little bit of shade, umbrella, post it in. Now, Chilean women tend to be passionate and intense in relationships, which can be both exciting and exhausting for their partners, but they are often expecting long-term commitment and are willing to work through arguments, which is not something that the American women are willing to do, which means that your relationship is going to last a whole lot longer at Chile. Now, family is very important, and the women often introduce their partners to their families early in a relationship. So the public displays of affection are more common and accepted as a way to show love in their country, which is not necessarily as appropriate in some other countries. So you got to be careful which countries you're showing affection in. Typically, if you've got one of the chicks with you, they should be able to tell you what their culture is like, or do your research. Because, if you're one of those Second Amendment friendly guys, you want to do your research and see what you can and cannot do in that country before you get there. That way, there are no troubles. Now, there's often a sense of collectivism in the relationships with less emphasis on individual independence, which is way better than what we've got in North America. And they're comparing that depreciation of independence to North American culture. Now, jealousy and protectiveness can be common traits in relationships, but you're not really going to be dealing with the psycho chick that's burning your bathtub on fire like Left Eye from TLC just because she thought, remember that song where the girls were talking about beating the car with the baseball bat, knocking out all the windows, keying up all the leather seats and flattening the tires because she thought you cheated? You don't get that from Chile. They're going to try harder to impress you because they're jealous of this other chick that looks like she's got your attention, which is crazy. Is they have to make them French toast constantly. Yeah, she's jealous of the other girl. You tell her that you like French toast and German chocolate cake. She's gonna be baking up a storm. You're gonna have cake and bread all over the place with cinnamon and whipped cream and syrup. You get fat because she's trying to keep you from leaving her. That's crazy, but that's a whole lot better than the Bad Girls Club that we got in America. Now, from the arid Acostama desert to the lush forest of Patagonia, Chile's natural beauty is simply breathtaking. The country is home to some of the most spectacular landscapes on the planet, and it's a nature lover's paradise. So whether you're hiking, skiing, or simply taking in the views before or after they bend over, Chile has an unforgettable outdoor experience waiting for you guys if you guys decide to go there. For adventure seekers who don't want to miss a kidney, Chile is a dream come true because y'all already know that expats, these passport bros, be going to certain countries and find themselves waking up in a bathtub full of ice with a kidney missing. And I mean, you shouldn't have followed that person to that location. That's all I got to tell you about that. But in Chile, from surfing to skiing, from rafting to rock climbing, there's no shortage of adrenaline pumping activities to get your heart racing. Here in America, what we do for a thrill is we allow ourselves to get pulled over and pray that we survive the traffic stop. That's our exciting day. We go to the bank in the middle of the day and withdraw a lot of money out of our bank account by writing it on a piece of paper. See how well that works out. It's exciting to be in America because it's so dangerous that the law enforcement will try to take your life off of misunderstanding. Like, they shoot first and ask questions later. Now, the best part of Chile, many of these experiences can be had in a stunning natural surrounding that will leave you awestruck. So, what's the most compelling reasons why Chile is considered a dream country for men? In my opinion, it's the outdoor activities. Imagine hiking through towering peaks of Patagonia or riding horseback through rolling hills of the countryside. Imagine having a chick with you as she is riding the horseback with you. Or you can imagine a different way that could be a horseback ride. Either way, imagine sipping on a glass of Chilean wine in a scene valley central location. Now, speaking of Chilean wine, I actually just had a client contact me and they wanted me to promote their wine. It's a Venti Auto, I think is what it's called. I'll have more details on it once they ship me the bottle, but they're mailing me a bottle of their wine, so I'm going to be talking about it on the show as I get drunk on the show when it gets here. But we're going to be promoting their product as well. So I'm probably gonna have a ton of links. I may have to at some point hire somebody just to add links to my show for all the people that I'd be promoting on this channel. But outside of these scenic routes, you want to take a drive along the Pacific coast, which is actually a very beautiful scene to experience. And these experiences will leave you feeling like a real real masculine man, connected with nature and pushing yourself to your limits. Now, don't think that all I'm going to do is talk about vacation, because on this and that, what we talk about is money. So we talk about money and we talk about lifestyle. So the middle class lifestyle typically includes modest housing, dining out occasionally, and access to basic amenities. And the monthly cost for this type of lifestyle, for a family of 4 now, so that's probably 2 parents and 2 kids, or a husband and 3 wives, however you want to look at it, with a monthly cost is about $2,982, and a single person is estimated monthly cost is like $1,443, which is approximately double the cost of living in Japan. Now, the monthly rent for an 85 square meter furnished accommodation in an expensive area is $1,163. So a fully furnished apartment, 85 square meters, is $1,100. Now, a monthly rent for a normal area, fully furnished, is $698 a month, which is getting close to in Japan, because Japan, like the entire standard of living was like $759 for the entire standard of living. Like, this is just the rent. This isn't the anything else: food, entertainment, transportation, clothing, anything like that. Now, utilities for 2 people for that same 85 square meter flat is about $89 a month. And when it comes to food, things like basic lunch menus with drinks in the business district are $18. And combo meals in fast food restaurants are like $8. Now, I can tell you right now that McDonald's and Burger King in America has an $8 menu, where you're there. If you find something for $1, you'll be lucky. Now, don't worry, we're going to get to investments in just a moment. They got 1 kilogram, 2-pound tomatoes for $1.51. Apples for $1.72. They transport their gas in Chile is $1.44 a liter. Bro, we don't get that here in America. $1.44 a liter, with monthly tickets for transportation is $42. Last time I seen Heartline, Bayside, you can confirm with me on this. Isn't the 1 month pass for Heartline like almost $75 right now? Last time, wasn't it like $65, $75 for Heartline? That's just expensive. This is public transportation now, just to get you around the city. This isn't a Greyhound to another city. This is the local bus system to take you from downtown Tampa to USF and back. Maybe take you to East Tampa. You got 1 bus that'll take you to West Tampa, but if you don't get out too early, you're not going to get the bus to take you back. So you're going to have to walk back from West Tampa. I tell you, it's crazy. And the buses don't connect. The north and south buses don't connect with the east and west buses. So there's a layover when you have to do a cross connect. It sucks. It might connect in one direction, but it's definitely not connecting in the other. I mean, you got to run across your street and hope that you don't get hit by a car trying to keep from having a bus leave before you get going. They don't always wait for you, bro. But if you're looking for a little entertainment in Chile, a basic dinner for 2 in a neighborhood pub is $39, and 2 tickets for a movie is $14, where in America you're looking at like $45 for 2 tickets. And then beer in a neighborhood pub is $3.94, where in America beer is like $5 a bottle. So let's not forget that personal health care, because a short visit to a private doctor is about 15 minutes for $47, and standard men's haircuts in expat areas is $18, which is almost like American prices, because we spend like $20, $25 for a fade. Now, the upper class lifestyle, including living in premium housing, frequent dining at upscale restaurants, and private school for children and luxury expenses, has different lifestyle costs. A family of 4 would be between $4,000 and $6,000 US, which is about the same price as living in California. depending on the location and lifestyle choices that you have. A single person will be between 2,500 and 3,500, which is approximately what it costs to live in Florida right now. You might be able to find the same price range in like Tennessee or Kentucky. Now, some of these expenses includes a 1-bedroom apartment inner city, which is about $485 to $700 US a month, and a 3-bedroom apartment inner city between $860 to $1,360 a month, with the utilities of about $120 to $220 a month, which is way cheaper than what America is getting right now, because since Canada is hitting at 25%, New York is paying an extra $10 a month for utility. Actually, it's $10 per kilowatt hour for utility. So if you're the kind of person that's using like 25 or 30 kilowatt hours, you're spending an extra $250 on your light bill. I would be unplugging everything. The only thing be plugged in is the refrigerator. I'd be like, nope, we're living off candles. We ain't doing central air and heat. We're doing box fans. Cody said, hope that bus driver is safe. That's all I'm at. Well, you already know that the bus drivers in Florida be getting shot at, stabbed. They didn't put like a plastic panel. It ain't even really all that bulletproof, but they put like a plastic panel there where the drivers don't encounter the people who are boarding the bus anymore, because somebody tried to stab them right off the bus. It's crazy. He said, go New York. New York is expensive. I think Minnesota also is one of the states that are being taxed by Canada. So like utilities is high over there, higher than normal. But this is for electricity, water, and garbage, not just electricity. So it's still cheaper in Chile. And their monthly transportation passes, while it is like $42, their expensive gas is $5.20. Mid-range restaurants for two is between $50 and $78. And the inexpensive restaurants are like $9 to $17. Now that's starting to look at American prices. Now the private schools, and this is why I told you guys that if you donate to your schools, your kids' public schools, you guys would be able to save so much money, because every dollar that you give to the public school is a tax deduction. These private schools in Chile are between $4,000 a year and $12,000 a year, which is basically between $300 and $1,000 per month per child, which could be a tax write-off. They have luxury goods such as designer clothes and shoes that are between $40 and $120 per item. So a Gucci purse is probably not going to be there. And if it is, it's going to be $120, which in America, that bad boy would be on clearance to be $120 for a Gucci purse. So, but I told you guys, let's not buy name brand, let's buy durability. Santiago is the most expensive city in Chile, but offers a wide range of amenities that cater to both middle and upper lifestyles. So Chile's cost of living is cheaper than 61% of countries around the world, but more expensive than 69% of Latin American countries. Santiago, the capital, tends to be more expensive than other Chilean cities. But Chile is more than just a collection of amazing experiences. It's a country that will challenge your assumptions, push you out of your comfort zone, and leave you feeling like a true adventurer. And that's what makes this the ultimate dream country for every man to go check out. Chile, take out your pen and paper. Got to adjust myself for this. Chile, world's largest copper producer. I just finished talking about precious metals last week, Tuesday. And the mining sector remains a key investment opportunity. I told you guys we was going to be talking about money today. With growing demand for copper in energy transition industries and potential increased usage in AI-related infrastructure, this sector could see significant growth. So what I did was I got you guys some notable copper stocks trading on the Chile stock market, GIPA. And you guys can take a look at some of these, because these are some places where you can invest in Chile's infrastructure. Antofagasta Minerals, ticker ANTO, is a London-based Chilean multinational. What is that? Conglomerate. Woo. That's huge. And they're operating several copper mining operations in several different countries. It has an average annual copper production of around 0.71 million tons, which is definitely worth investing in. Impresa Copec SA, ticker COPECSN, while primarily known for petroleum refining, Impresa Copec also has interest in the mining sector, including copper. Now, Southern Copper, SCCO, although not exclusively listed on the GIPA, is Southern Copper is a major player in Chilean copper industry, where it produces 1 million tons, which is 0.3 million tons more than the previous company, of copper in 2020, and is expected to produce 960,000 tons in the upcoming year. Now, Codelco, while also not publicly traded, Codelco is Chile's state-owned copper mining company and the world's largest copper producer, where it significantly influences the Chilean copper market. Now, Chile is making substantial investments in renewable energy, with over $9 billion US dollars expected to be invested by 2040, which gives you guys a direction to go and put your money if you're going to Chile. The sector presents excellent opportunities for companies specializing in wind and solar power plants, as well as electrical equipment. Now, Chile has a large and structured agri-food industry, offering opportunities in agricultural machinery, packaging systems, refrigeration plants, wine production. We just finished talking about getting drunk, where Chile is one of the world's largest wine producers. They also have the agriculture and fish production. Now, emerging sectors like digital technology offer unique investment opportunities in Chile, and the country is upgrading its digital service with which could present openings for tech companies and other startup companies. Now, I did not do my research to determine exactly how much Chile is being negatively impacted by the tariffs, but you should still be able to go over there and do some startup stuff. Now, financial services account for 11.2% of investments in Chile. With the economy recovering and interest rates expected to come down, this sector could see growth, particularly in consumer lending and financial technology. So if you're trying to get involved with a private lender setup where you can invest money in loaning money to individuals and getting you a profit back from that, you could dive into that particular sector and turn your dollars into ducats and potentially get you a larger return. As the economy improves and consumption increases, the consumer discretionary sector may present attractive investment opportunities as well, because Chile's economic stability and strong growth rate are favorable in this climate for foreign investors to make an appealing destination for those investors to go to. However, it is important to note that while Chile offers many opportunities, its reliance on copper prices can affect the entire economy. So investors should conduct thorough research and consider diversifying their investments to mitigate that risk. Now, Chile offers several incentives for foreign investors aiming to attract and promote foreign direct investments in the country. Now, we're going to be talking about more stock options coming up soon, so make sure that you keep a listen out for it. But here are some of the key incentives available to foreign nationals investing in Chile. Companies can receive a 35% tax credit on investments in the research and development area with a maximum $1 million that you can receive on that. The remaining 65% can be deducted as expenses for income in tax purposes. Tax credits and grants are available for projects in Chile's northernmost and southernmost regions. This is going to be including tax credits for 10 to 40% of investments in these regions, manual labor bonuses for employers, investment subsidies for small and medium-sized investors located in specific regions. And these are the zones that are offering the benefits. You have exemptions from custom duties on imports. This is actually, instead of the zones, this is the benefits in the zones. You have VAT exemptions on sales to other free trade zones and abroad. You have exemptions from corporate income tax. And this Let's Invest in Chile plan, which was launched in September of 2022, where this plan aims to increase investments by 5%. And that's a lot of points, through various measures, including tax incentives and improved access to financing towards the upcoming year. Now, Chilean economic development agencies provides guarantees to leading institutions to improve access and funding conditions for companies. Now, projects with investments of at least $5 million US can apply for a tax credit on important capital goods. Now, if you've got $5 million, you can fill out some paperwork and get you a gold US passport, get you a gold card, citizenship, just buy your citizenship, skip the line, just hand them $5 million. You just got to wait in this very short black ops, FBI on one side, CIA on the other side, wire transfer experience. And then all of a sudden you've got, instead of having ICE knocking on your door, asking for everybody's ID. Now, the IFI audiovisual programs offer reimbursements of up to 30%, 40% outside the metropolitan region for qualified expenses incurred by foreign audiovisual productions on Chile, capped at $3 million. So they'll give you up to $3 million on audiovisual productions. That's like streaming, because it's sound and picture productions. Why couldn't it just say movies? It's whatever. Now, while mineral deposits are restricted from foreign ownership, companies can sign resource extraction contracts with the government. And those foreign investors are statutory guaranteed for capital reparations and profit remittance. They also have non-discrimination policies and access to foreign exchange markets. There's protection under international, bilateral, and multilateral treaties, while Chile generally does not provide direct subsidies for or against guarantees for the FDI projects. Its stable economy and sound legal framework puts up an environment that gives you respect for private property rights and make it an attractive destination for those foreign investors, which is something we also don't experience in America. The Chilean stock market has shown strong performance in recent months, with the main index reaching record highs as of the 21st, which is like 5 days ago, almost 6 days ago. The Chilean stock market, IGPA, closed at 38,061.89 points, representing a 13.3% increase since the beginning of the year. Yep, she gets one too, guys. She gets one too. We've got Talina coming in. First time tonight. He's showing everybody love. Hopefully you're doing good tonight. Today we're talking about Chile and all the ways that we can make money in Chile. Now, the market in Chile is reaching an all-time high with their 38,223 points. And this is going to give you a lot of things that you can invest in the Chilean market. The IPSA is another major index that closed at 7,332 points in February 2025, showing an increase from 71,000 or 7,199 points at the end of the previous month. So Chile's financial market has forecasted 2.2% economic growth for 2025, which is within central bank's estimate range between 1.5 and 2.5, where analysts expect an inflation rate of 25, with the consumer prices index. Special shout out to Talina. I really appreciate that. She showed us some love today. We're gonna let that linger for a while. If you guys ever have the ability to throw down some appreciation, some any type of support for the channel, you can also do so. You have your special likes, special emojis, a straight up donation like she did that is capable of supporting the channel. YouTube takes half of it, but I appreciate anything that you guys do because it goes towards the overhead, because the overhead is not cheap at all. Now that I think about it, I did say I was supposed to be covering Ukraine at some point this month, so I'm probably going to have to do that one next. Then we'll be talking about the list of countries that you guys threw up there. The consumer price index project reached a 3% high, and that's what they're expecting it to sit at by the end of 2026. The monetary publicity rate, the policy rate, is expected to remain at 5% over the next few months before potentially dropping to 4.75%. So that is the monetary policy rate, and that's supposed to be dropping to 4.75 by the end of the year. Now, Santiago Stocks Exchange recorded a monthly P&E of 12.6, which is very good, in January of 2025. And the Chilean stock market has a recent performance reflection of a dynamic economic stand, where previously was expected to be a 2.6% GDP growth in 2024, now exceeding that earlier forecast. However, it's important to note that the international outlook has become more uncertain due to the geopolitical tensions from America, which could potentially impact the Chilean economy in the future. But as it stands right now, August Adeas SA is the ticker. August A is a utility company that has a strong buy rating from analysts, where it's offering dividend yields of 6.9% and has shown positive EPS growth. NG's Ingeria Chile SA ECL also has a pretty decent buy rating, which this one is a utility company that also has a low P&E ratio of 4.9%, which is fantastic, indicating potential undervaluation. Enel Chile SA is Enel Chile, ENELCHILE, is another utility company with a pretty decent buy rating, offering a high dividend yield of 7.95%. Salfa Corp SA is Salfa Corp, SALFACORP. This finance sector company has a very strong buy rating and a relatively low P&E ratio of 8.28. Now, Plaza SA has a ticker of Mall Plaza with a very strong buy rating. This finance sector company has a P&E ratio of about 12.13 and offers a dividend yield of 3.15. Now, notice that these low ones are underrated, potentially underrated scenarios. Oh, she said it's a very complicated topic. No, we're talking about money. How are you going to say that it's complicated? So we talked about the beautiful beaches. We talked about the enchanting architecture. We talked about the real estate. We talked about the the family atmosphere from the women. We've talked about a lot of stuff about over the past hour about Chile, and now we're just talking about a little bit of the money before we start digging into a couple of other things. Because as I told you guys before, we're speeding through it. We're speeding through it. So I think we're on number 6 of, what is that, 12. So not that many more that we're going to be going to as far as the stock options, because I promised some of the fellas that we would talk about stocks and investment opportunities in Chile. We also was going to be talking about some real estate investment companies in Dubai. And then we were going to be talking about the companies that provide you with a trust contract that you can utilize to establish yourself a privately owned operated trust. We do a lot of our relationship style topics and stuff on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we do more of our money topics on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, because it's all about making money for us so that we can live that happy life with the woman of our dreams after we can afford to pay for everybody and not have to go back to work every day. So it's a pretty strange dynamic. Now, Park Aranco SA is Par ARAUCO, and this finance sector company also has a pretty decent buy ratio with a P/E of 13.68. Banco Santander Chile is BSANTANDER with a buy ratio, a pretty decent buy ratio. And this one's also in the finance sector, where they're showing a strong EPS growth of 47.21 year over year. And these platforms allow investors to trade Chilean stocks and potentially access the IGPA index, the S&P and CLX IGPAs indices, General de Precios y Acceso. I cannot pronounce that, but that's what that stands for. And this services as a broad benchmark for the Chilean equities market, measuring the performance of the Chilean domiciled stocks. So this list on the Santiago Exchange are the brokers that you guys can do. You guys can take a look at to invest in some of the companies that I just told you guys about earlier. Ukraine. Well, today we're talking about Chile, but I can talk about the Ukraine stock market and investment opportunities in Ukraine and some of the better places to live in Ukraine. But, you know, that's how we kind of throw it out there. All right, guys, we're doing it again. Let's get another one. It's been a while since. We've got some dumb beats coming in, and he is back again, talking about Free Luigi. Back again.
No compromising, no time for the average game. Elevating myself, that's my only aim. This is the elevation protocol. Rising above the chaos, taking control.
It's like it's shocking everybody. They're like, wait, he's giving us our own theme music today? Yes. I've only got like 5 songs. I'm going to rotate it out for each one of you guys that come up. These are all songs from our This and That album that was made by alanito.music in Switzerland and promoted by Danny in Denmark. That's where he is. I'm sitting over here thinking he speaks Dutch. Where is he? Denmark. Now, I don't want to leave Usman out of the loop, because Usman be asking me like, where do I go to invest in these things? The interactive brokers. Noise. Yeah, you know it. The Interactive Brokers, they're rated as the best online broker and trading platform in Chile for 2025, offering access to a wide range of products and markets. Now, eToro, which is what I told you guys yesterday, is one of those popular platforms with low stock and ETF fees, offering seamless account opening and social trading features. XTB provides commission-free stocks and ETFs for trades up to 100,000 pounds per month, and offers easy account opening. Swiss Quotes offers access to many markets and products, including Chilean stocks. And TradeStation Global also features low stock and ETF fees and provides access to a wide range of products. Now, Chile has everything a man could want: natural beauty, beautiful women, cultural richness, adventure opportunities, and a sense of authenticity that is hard to find in more tourist destinations than we've seen before. Now, on the other hand, we were talking about, Usman asked me about what was going on with Dubai. Now, Usman, if you're ready, we've got you some Dubai information that wasn't in the last Dubai show, because there are several real estate companies in Dubai that stand out as potentially strong investment options. She said heavy metal. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You wouldn't think it. You would look at me and you would think, he's got to be like a R&B guy or like a rap guy or something like that. And then I hit you with like heavy metal and like indie rock, and you're like, what is that? It's different. That's what it is. That's why I rock it, because that's what we need in life. We need to break the stereotypes. That's what we need. Now, Emaar Properties, as one of the largest developers in Dubai, Emaar has a diverse portfolio, including iconic projects like the Burj Khalifa and Dubai Mall. They offer strong rental yields and have a reputation for high quality developments. Nakheel Properties is known for creating Palm Jumeirah. Nakheel continues to lead with innovative urban planning and diverse projects. Dubai Properties is a subsidiary of Dubai Holdings, and they're behind major projects like Jeremiah Beach Residence and Business Bay. He said, to put money in Dubai is very smart and affordable. Exactly. That's what the whole show is about. The show is about going to different countries. Well, not the entire show. We have different stuff we talk about every day. But on Wednesdays, we're talking about going to different countries and putting our money in different countries where our money will make money for us. And if we're making enough money, the cost to go to other countries can be paid for out of the money that we made and be written off as a business expense if all of the money is owned and operated by the business or the trust or something to that effect, where you can, when you are filing and applying for taxes, you are claiming the cost of travel to all the places where your money sit, which allows you to be able to check on your money, make money, and enjoy your lifestyle as you commute. So you're not rushing to work every day to grind at the stone to put money in somebody else's pocket. You're casually, carelessly commuting to another country so that you can see if you can expand your portfolio. Same as Bulgaria. Yeah, Bulgaria is another one that I wanted to talk about. I haven't gone to that one yet. I've talked about Belarus, if I remember correctly, but I haven't talked about Bulgaria yet. Damac Properties is DAMAC. They specialize in luxury developments, and Damac has a strong presence both locally and internationally. Saba Realty, recognized for high-end developments and quality craftsmen, Saba controls its entire supply chain. That's crazy. And Maras develops lifestyle-oriented properties integrating retail, hospitality, and entertainment. Azizi Development offers affordable properties, attracting both investors and end users, which is something that you should take a look at, because they're either going to take your money because you're investing in them, or they're going to take your money because you're using their property. Now, Lux Habitata, LuxHabitat, Habitat, Lux Habitat. Okay, let's try that. Lux Habitat. They are a leading marketplace for luxury properties in Dubai, offering a curated selection of high-end properties. While they don't explicitly mention flying clients out, they do provide extensive services for international buyers. BOS Realty Management, they offer comprehensive property management services, which could be beneficial for investors who purchase properties through them. However, there's no mention of them flying you out either, or providing luxury hotel accommodations. IMP Luxury Real Estate, they specialize in luxury real estate sales in Dubai and offer personalized assistance to clients. They're not mentioning anything about flying clients out, but they do emphasize their customer-centric approach. Now, I have heard that there's a company in Dubai that will fly you out to Dubai, put you up in a luxury apartment or hotel or whatever, and take you out to invest in $150,000 to $200,000 properties, as long as you buy the property through them. So that's what led me to look for these, because Usman was talking to me about it. I wanted to know, and we had to figure it out. Talina says, also, I'm personally going to buy a flat in Albany. How much are you paying for the flat? $150,000? Flats are like apartments, and I like houses. I like fences, driveways, garage, preferably detached from the house with its own power source. 2-story house, maybe, pool in the back, water fountain in the front, kind of thing. That's my mentality of a house. Clearly, most Americans don't have that house. We are lucky if we've got just like nobody peeing in our yard. 60,000. Oh, that's good. That's actually pretty affordable. So that's like a 2-bedroom flat. That's a good 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom flat. That's a good deal. You got some very cheap places, and not in America. You find 60,000, you find something that was halfway burned down and halfway haunted. You'd be like, what? Talking about it's the investor's dream to spend $150,000 to rebuild it. If you're lucky, after you pay $60,000 to get it, I'd be like, ooh. He said, chill, please. No, I'm calm. Haas, they offer property management services and could potentially arrange viewings for international clients, but they're not one of those companies that specifically mentions to fly your clients out or provide luxury accommodations. Now, PV Grouping in Dubai, they specialize in off-plan deals and cater to international buyers. They don't explicitly offer to fly anybody out or provide them with luxury hotels either. Now, we went through all of the companies in Dubai that you can get you some real estate from. Now, there are several firms specializing in trusts and fiduciaries, and they're going to give you fiduciary services in Dubai and the UAE. So when we were talking about buy your real estate property, so Talina, you could utilize some of this. If you buy a real estate property, you put your property into a trust, your trust owns your property, your trust manages your property, and you just manage your trust. A lot of places that you can go to get information on how to do something like this, which prevents your assets from being caught up in any legal action that you're liable for. depending on how you structure your trust. Because like if you get into a car accident, people try to sue you and take your house. But if your house is in a trust, they can't really do that. Stuff like that. Now, Trident Trust is established in 2006. Trident Dubai offers wealth planning and asset protection structures, including DIFCs, foundations, and offshore trusts. Carter House Lombard provides fiduciary services, including the establishment of offshore trusts and foundations. Emirates NBA or MBD offers private trust services, including Sharia compliant trusts for wealth protection and family estate planning. He says Albany is a future. Well, I got to tell you, not staying still is the future. Making sure that wherever you go, you love what you do and love what you're doing it with, because it's not just about making money. It's about making memories with the people that you love while making money in your sleep, because money has to work harder than you do in order for you to be in a position where you are, they call it financial freedom, but you're free from stress. Bayside said, Xander, I want to be clear, is buying property overseas and trusts for millionaires or entrepreneurs? What about 9 to 5ers also? So when it comes down to buying properties, if you're a 9 to 5er, there are places that you can go, like Japan, where the property is valued at $0. You just have to pay the property taxes, where the property taxes is somewhere between $500 and $800 US for the property, $50 to $100 sometimes. And then you can develop certain properties. The average individual can buy real estate if you do it correctly. There are ample channels, and we talk about a lot of these different channels on the platform. There's no one way to get it. If you have good credit and a good bill pay history, you can get funding from a lot of more places than what you could if you had bad credit and you had late payments. If you have an LLC or a C corporation, when you're buying properties overseas, you're more likely to acquire properties overseas, with certain properties that have restrictions on personal ownership of foreigners having their land, which prevents like billionaires in America from going and buying up another country and then controlling it as a U.S. person. So, but as an LLC or a C corporation or an S corporation, going over there and buying a certain number of lands, depending on what country you go to, is also doable. It is not exclusively for millionaires. Millionaires tend to do it when they decide to expand their portfolio around the world. Entrepreneurs do this stuff once they realize how they can make money for them in different areas. The profits that they're making in America can be written off as tax deductions from expenses in another country when you start doing international investments and business. Especially because U.S. gives you almost $200,000 worth of tax exemption right now from money made worldwide, if you only have one business. But if you have multiple businesses, you get that deduction off of each business that you have. However, the fact is that anybody can do it. You just have to set yourself up for doing it. So building up a trust, you can build a trust as cheap as $250 to $500 for a simple trust, or like we were talking about yesterday, as high as $30,000 for a trust, plus like 1% to 2% of the value of the trust as maintenance fees, where they're expecting you to put like $250,000 in that trust. For the big ones. For the small ones, where we're just trying to keep our house from being took in the divorce, the small ones where we're trying to keep ourselves from losing our assets when we get involved in a litigation. They don't cost that much. We can acquire those kinds of trusts, and we can utilize those trusts to our benefit. And then likewise, when it comes down to picking up the real estate, if you can't afford to buy your own house in America, then you might have a little bit of difficulty affording the plane ticket to fly to another country to spend $120,000, $200,000 cash up front on a property. But that does not mean that it's not possible for you. It just means that we have to work on those cash dividend stocks that I was giving you guys information on, so that we can make money for us, so we can build ourselves up too. Because the end goal is traveling the world, making money for you. And everybody's in a different stage in their life. So I'm going to make sure that I tell you guys how 9-to-5ers that are paycheck to paycheck can start building themselves up to a residual income that far exceeds their expenses. They can eventually transition over to international travel and international investments. Individuals that are in the middle ground, where they have the capabilities to do it with their income, but they're wasting their money, they can learn how to change the way they make decisions and change what they invest their money in, and then start turning more profits from the money they don't need to pay their bills, which allows them to get there faster to the goal of international traveling and investments. And then you got the people who've already got the money. They just didn't know what to do with it. And they pass by the show and they're like, oh shit, I could go over there. There's a different tier systems. But yes, it is for you guys to go and do. I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to take you guys. Your guys not going to be on a live while I'm signing a contract, but while I'm in that country setting stuff up, you're going to be like, okay, he went to this country. I did two things when I went to that country. I looked into trust. I looked into some type of investment platform. And then the third thing, I looked at the culture. That's the three things that I'm guaranteeing myself to stick my nose into. Yeah, I'm going to stick my nose into culture. Every country that I go to. Bayside says Albania sounds affordable too. Now, Albania is probably in the same realm as Cambodia. But Japan, China, and the Philippines, you can potentially acquire yourself a house for $60,000. Well, you could acquire yourself in Japan. You can acquire yourself a house for like $20, depending on the house. But in other areas, you can acquire yourself a house for between $25,000 and $100,000 for a 4-bedroom house or larger, depending on the country that you're in. There are certain countries where you can build a house from the ground up for $100,000. But do you have $100,000 to do that with? And then if you're buying a house in another country, are you going back to America if you came from America? Because that's another question that you have to ask yourself. Because those of us that got pensions, retirement funds, or anything like that, you could take your $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 a year, buy a house in another country, move over there, live there cheaper. And that is a whole lot more effective for you than paying for a house in America and paying for a house in another country. So hopefully that long-winded explanation answers a lot of your questions. Now, Asiasti, ASIACITI Trust. This is a trust company where their administration, PTE Ltd, recognizes a spotlight firm in the trust companies category for the UAE. Okarion, also highlighted as a spotlight firm for trust services in the UAE. Safari Trust provides trust services for high net worth individuals. And notice there's a difference, because you have the high net worth, or like multimillionaires, and families in Dubai, including asset protection and succession planning. And Sanctuary, really good name, offers trust incorporation and fiduciary services in Dubai. Now, while we're talking about trust, you have Frontal Trust, and this company operates in Chile and offers various investment funds, including real estate and mortgage-backed funds. While not exclusively a trust company, they provide trust-related services for investors. And Alvarez and Marcel, also specifically not a trust company, has a presence in Chile and offers services to help companies with operational, financial, and regulatory challenges. And these are the things that you might want to talk to when you start dealing with international purchases of real estate and other such materials. You might need to talk to one of these lawyers just to buy your own personal house if you wanted to go live there and just stay there. Because there are laws, rules, and regulations that prohibit certain types of things. And if you don't know what to do or what you can't do, they'll take your money, but you might not get what you was expecting out of that situation. So it's always good to take a look at that. They may be able to assist with trust related matters in business context, not so much on a personal standpoint, but if you're buying a house in, say, Albany and you're doing it through an LLC, you might be able to talk to them and get that done. Now, Navis and St. Kitts, they have Acme Trust, like Acme Labs, ACME. From my generation, it was the Animaniacs, with not just the Coyote and the Roadrunner, but the Animaniacs with the little like weird dog children that were highly smart and bad at the same time. And they would go to Acme Labs and just talk about all kinds of stuff that taught kids when cartoons used to teach kids. Now cartoons don't teach kids anything. But this trust service offers Navis LLCs, IBCs, foundations, and trusts with strong asset protection and privacy features, which I didn't even think about the fact that I might have to create an LLC in another country that might have to be involved with the trust. Didn't even think about that, but that's something to look into. Now, specializing in Navis trust recognitions, providing unparalleled financial privacy and protection from foreign judgments. National Bank Trust Co. in St. Kitts, Nevis, and Jalulia Ltd. They provide trustee and executive services in their company for incorporations, escrow accounts, and trust formations. That's actually very beneficial. And Hamilton Trust Company in Nevis Limited, established in 1997, offers tax efficient trust and corporate services tailored to high net worth clients, where AMS Trustees in Nevis Limited provides comprehensive trust services for estate planning and wealth protection, which is not necessarily the wealthy. Now, Cayman Islands has some, like Rowland and Hunter, which is the largest independent trust company in the Cayman Islands with nearly 50 years of experience, offering star trusts, private trust companies, and family office services, which estate administration and continuous trust management is offered. IQEQ in the Caymans Trust Services specializes in bespoke trust solutions for ultra high net worth individuals like Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and corporations like BlackRock. Now, they provide regulatory compliance, accounting services, and private client trusts. Belize is one of the countries that we were talking about where it's a good place to put your trust. Has International Trust Services Ltd, leading provider of offshore trusts in Belize, offering full administration and management of trust assets, covering multiple jurisdictions, including Belize, Nevis, Panama, Andalusia, and help me out, y'all, Seychelles. Whoo, the names they be coming up with. When you get hit with a vocabulary dysfunction, you got to take a deep breath and get over that hurdle. Now, Mayfair Trust Company focuses on asset protection trusts with a streamlined setup process, and this provides personalized service for trusts, LLCs, and IBCs at affordable rates, which is better for us if we're on a startup. Offshore Protection Belize Trust Services is specialized in Belize asset protection trusts under the 1992 Act for Safeguarding Wealth, with favorable tax credits. Now, all of these firms that we just finished talking about are highly regarded for their expertise in offshore trust formations and managements across their respective jurisdictions. Investors should carefully evaluate their specific needs, such as privacy requirements, tax advantages, or estate planning goals when choosing a firm to work with. Now, since we covered all of the stuff that we needed to cover about the trust and Dubai, if you guys have ever been to Dubai and you would like to share your story, make sure that you go ahead and throw your comments in the comment section down below. If you've ever been to Dubai as well as Chile, definitely want to hear about that, because I always want to hear about your experiences. And if you're planning a trip, I hope this video has inspired you to consider this incredible country. And apparently, we're going to have to throw out Ukraine and Albania, in addition to Chile and Dubai. Special shout out to all those countries as places that you could potentially go to enjoy life at a cheaper price than what it would cost to be in America. Don't forget to make sure that you guys check out some of the other videos that we have on travel destinations, and any information that we have on investments with trusts and other such platforms that will help you guys make yourselves more successful with your international travel and investments. Special shout out to Red Void and Danny Steffen. Seeing you guys popped in. Special shout out to Twitch as well as Twitter X, because I know you guys have been watching us on a long haul today. That was a very distinctive march down memory lane of information. So I really appreciate you guys bearing with me with that, because I had to answer a lot of questions today. I was just packing everything on like, yeah, we're going to talk about that today too. We're going to talk about that today too. And I just had to get through all of it. So with that being said, ironically, I still managed to get through all the information that I have for you guys. And it was a shorter show today than it was yesterday. I don't get it. The information, just, I said, sometimes it's fluid, it's in depth, and sometimes not so much. But now we know some pretty good places for us to lay our hat and look into other ways for us to invest. And basically, one of the things that I do is I like to give you guys enough information for you guys to look into some things, because even if you're a 9-to-5er and you decide that you're going to start right now with your 20-year plan, if your goal is to international travel and internationally invest, you don't need to have the money in your pocket today. What you need to do today is change the way that you invest in things, change the way that you pocket your money, change the way that you move things around, so that you have the ability to have all of the money that you're looking for and all the things that you need to make the wealth that you are looking for, and also potentially put more people in the right spots to get you the capital that you need to be successful. Because once you start making the money that you need to be successful, then you can put more resources towards investing in other areas. With that being said, like I said before, we kind of hit us a streamline of burnout, and I greatly appreciate you guys for coming to tonight's show. Before I walk out, I want to say, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you ladies to make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. And make sure that you guys hang out for Higher Ground, because that's one of the songs that we played today. But we had a lot of songs that we played today. But I want to give a special shout out to everybody who has been entertaining themselves with all the stuff that we've got going on tonight's show. Beyond that, make sure that you guys like, subscribe, keep using that reaction button, and share this information with somebody that you know that'll need it, or somebody that you know that will argue against it, because by all means, we take all challengers. Keep in mind, we're live 7 nights a week. So tomorrow being Thursday, we're going to be having more of those relationship topics, social improvement topics, and other such. So those are those debate topics that you guys like to get into so much. I appreciate you too, Talani. I'm going to see you tomorrow night. Make sure that you stop back by, because we're going to have a very interesting topic tomorrow. And I know that if I ever put up a topic from a male perspective that has anything incriminating about women, that women are going to want to put their 2 cents in. So make sure that you swing by and let me know what you think. 75% of us are fellas. I really appreciate you guys showing us support. 25% are females. They're coming in strong and they're learning and growing and expanding their usefulness. So I really appreciate that, and I strongly encourage it. With that being said, I want to tell you guys, thank you for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And I will see you guys tomorrow night.
Higher ground. Used to chase validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt upon the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher, constantly making my own climb. Standing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. I'm not landing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never yield.